Hey student, watch this video and learn 5 tips to help you memorize words in English. Coming up. Hey friends, Teacher Prix here to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. First of all, thank you so much for joining me on another English lesson. If it's your first time here, consider subscribing, my friend. Yeah. From Monday to Friday, I have all kinds of English lessons here on my channel. Tips like this one, tonight's lesson, listening tips, reading tips, speaking tips, study tips, vocabulary, phrasal verbs, idioms, expressions, important verbs. There are so many things that I do here on my channel because I want to make sure that you become a better and more confident English speaker. And here I also have a link in the descriptions where you can register to my email list and download a free ebook where I teach you 5 strategies to help you better understand native speakers and talk like them, like a pro. Anyways, my friends, let's dive into the content. How to memorize words in English. This is a very important subject because I believe that if you are watching this lesson, you have a certain level in your listening and you want to improve your communication skills. You want to become a better speaker. But without vocabulary, my friend, it is difficult to speak English because you need to improve your level of vocabulary, whether it is to speak or to understand native speakers, okay? So the 5 tips I'm going to show you tonight, they are tips of things that I do, that I apply in my everyday study routine. It's something that I have always been working with my private students, and I'm pretty sure that this is going to help you as well. But remember, turn this moment into an active one. Every time I give you a lesson here on my channel, make sure to put into practice, try to apply the things I share with you in the lessons, all right? Anyways, the first tip I'm going to give you is very simple, straightforward, let's cut to the chase. Define a subject, okay? If you want to improve your vocabulary, okay, I want to be able to understand native speakers. That's very open, all right? And I know you want that. I know you want to understand native speakers. But if you want to improve your vocabulary, you need to start somewhere, okay? So to have an advanced vocabulary, you need to go through the basic vocabulary, the pre-intermediate vocabulary. You need to go through all the levels, all the phases, all the stages. So why defining a subject is important? Because if you don't know what to study, how are you going to improve? A word here, a word there, and these words are not connected. This will make your study time very disorganized and very difficult. And whenever things are disorganized, they are not productive. So if you want to have improvement, if you really want to be productive with the time you have, you need to define a subject. I'm studying Italian, as I shared this with you guys, and that's what inspired me to make this video tonight, because I was doing exactly what I'm gonna show you. I'm doing the exact 5 tips that I'm sharing with you tonight, and let me tell you, it is working, okay? And this is something that I recommend my students, and whenever they do, they get better. Okay, I defined the subject. I want to improve my vocabulary for restaurants, okay? Okay, awesome. Restaurants, that's good. Now you will write down like 5 to 10 words. It doesn't have to be a very long list. If you write down a very long list, it'll be difficult for you to study them. Remember, you're busy, you have a life, you work, you study, you do many different things. So if you make a very long list, it is going to be very difficult for you to follow that list. So quantity is not your best friend. Quality it is, okay? Quality is your best friend. That's what you should take into account, okay? So define a subject and then you will write 5 to 10 words that are relevant, okay? They belong to that subject. So if you work with technology, okay, technology is a subject, but that's very open. What exactly in technology do you want to improve or do you want to learn? Maybe it's not just because you want to improve, maybe because it's new and you want to learn. So what words connected to technology? What is the area in technology do you want to get better at? Okay. Is it about computer parts? I don't know much about technology, but maybe it's about computer parts. Or is it a process? Maybe it's a kind of process. Is it a software process and installation? Or what kind of thing? It's a software development. And in that subject, there are many words you don't know. So you see, I'm going down into the details. Okay, so that's important. Now, have a visual reminder. So let me show you what I did, okay? So I defined the subject. I'm learning vocabulary about restaurant, but not just any vocabulary, okay? Because restaurant, okay, there are many things about restaurant. There are conversations in a restaurant. There is the food in a restaurant. So I defined the things that you put on the table. That's my list. Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 words. And these words, they are connected to restaurant, but to the things I use on a table. Everything I put on a table, usually in a restaurant or at home too. Now, after that, my second tip for you is have a visual reminder. You need to have a visual reminder. I love technology and I think technology is awesome. Technology is amazing. But there are some strategies, they never die. They never go away. And my friend, visual reminders will help you. And how do I put it? There, over there is where I usually work with my students. Okay, let's see. There. Okay, that's where I usually work with my students, you know, that's where I usually do stuff. So there I have like a board and I put these post-its. And throughout the day I'm teaching my students and I get to see. So I have a constant reminder of the words I need to remember, that I need to memorize. So during the week, during the day, I look at the word and I repeat them mentally. Like, oh, okay, yes, that's it. Okay, piatto. Okay, bicchiere. All right, I keep repeating the words to myself. Okay. Now, if I don't know what the word is, because I know these are objects, I go on Google Images and they give me the image of what I wrote here. So this visual reminder can be on your cell phone, okay? Now, the problem with the cell phone is, okay, we use the cell phone all the time. We're always with the phone. But if it's an app, maybe you need to find an app where you can set some reminders. You can put here, like schedule a reminder to tell you, hey, it's time to look at the words. Look at me, check me out. Because if you don't do that, honestly, it's just going to be another app where you save words. So that may not really help you get the results you want. So I really like the idea of the post-it because I can see it all day long. And if maybe you don't have a wall in front of you, maybe you can put it on your computer, you know, like near somewhere, so that you can remind yourself of checking the words. Another thing that I do is every day I change the post-it. It's the same list, okay? But I write it again, and I will talk more about that. But every day I change. This is today's post-it. The same list since Monday, the same list, but I'm writing it down every day because I want to remember the words. And hey, if you're enjoying this lesson, if you're finding this lesson useful, I really appreciate it when you hit the like button. I know there are many people watching this lesson and it means a lot to me. So if you could hit the like button and share this lesson, invite more people to come, I really appreciate it. Moving on. 3, write explanations, not translations. Many English students are induced to writing the translations of the word. That is not a very productive way to study vocabulary and to learn words, to memorize words in English. Translating doesn't mean you will memorize that word, okay? So the best way for you to memorize and really connect to that word is by writing down short explanations, okay? And if when you start, these explanations are very difficult for you to write in English, write them in your language. It's okay, but don't translate. Write a short explanation that will help you remember what that word is. And gradually switch that short explanation to English, okay? That's what I do to all my clients. That's what I do to myself. When I started, I would write the explanations in Portuguese, my native language. And now that I'm a little better, I'm writing the explanations in Italian. Now, here I didn't write the explanations, but when I sit down to study, I write the explanations on my notebook because I have more space. Okay, so this doesn't need to be everything here, you know, explanations and everything. Gee, that's noisy. Oh, well. So that is a very good way for you to practice. Now, remember, if when you start, it is difficult for you to write in English, write in your language, and then gradually move on to English, okay? Number 4, study that list for at least a week. Learning vocabulary takes time and takes practice, okay? Just because you made a beautiful list on a post-it or on your cell phone, you know, some people like to use Anki or other flashcard apps. All right, got it. But that doesn't mean you will magically remember the new words. You will need to spend some time studying, and a 7-day period will be very productive if you are trying to improve your vocabulary, okay? So I highly recommend you spend 7 days studying. Doesn't mean 7 days a magical number. It's not, okay? It's a good number of days for you to study, and I would recommend once or twice a day. So twice a day, check the words, okay? Take a look at the visual reminder. Think about the words, because this process of repetition will help you remember words more easily, okay? So it is important to dedicate some time. And remember, the more is not the better. It's quality that is more important, okay? And finally, write short sentences. The best way for you to learn a new word in your everyday study is by bringing it to your life, okay? So, all right, I'm learning about restaurant and the things that I put on the table. So I am writing short explanations, short examples. You know, maybe, for example, I learned the word spoon in Italian. So I wrote a short recipe and I used the word spoon and I used the other words that I have here. So gradually write some words that you can, some phrases that you can include in your life, that you can connect to your life. That's why it is so important to define a specific subject, and then from there have this combination of different practices, writing short examples, writing the explanations, not the translations. Use your words, use your imagination to write explanations. You can use dictionaries to help you, but the more you use your vocabulary, the better it is going to be for you to memorize that word. Now, does this process work? Yes, but it's not going to work if you just do it for one day. Don't expect to make a list and just learn. You will need to spend a little bit more time, okay? Other than that, my friends, exercise for you. Well, no, it's just a question. I want to know how often you review vocabulary. You know, do you have vocabulary lists? And if you do, how often do you review those lists, okay? I would love to know. Other than that, make sure to hit the like button and share this lesson with your friends. It really helps the channel grow. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow for another English lesson. Bye-bye.